Welcome back to our channel HD Ultra Rare Coins. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. Today, we're going to take a journey into the fascinating story of the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny from the year 2010, a coin that may seem ordinary at first glance, but holds a story so compelling that it has become one of the most desirable treasures in the numismatic world. And by the end of this video, you'll discover just how valuable this coin has become, with its price soaring to an unbelievable $16 million. When we think about coins in everyday life, we often forget that each one is a miniature time capsule, a tiny work of art that carries the weight of history and the identity of a nation. The British penny, in particular, has long been one of the most iconic coins in circulation, with roots that stretch back more than 1,000 years. Over the centuries, the penny has transformed in size, metal, and design, reflecting the changing tides of British society, economics, and monarchy. By the time we arrive at the 2010 issue of the Elizabeth II 1 penny, we are not just holding a coin, but also a piece of living history that bridges the ancient traditions of the monarchy with the modern era of the 21st century. The 2010 penny features Queen Elizabeth II, who by this time had already become the longest reigning British monarch of her era. The portrait on the obverse of the coin was designed by Rank-Broadley, an artist whose work emphasized realism, detail, and a sense of dignity. Unlike earlier portraits of the Queen which leaned toward a more youthful or idealized depiction, Rank-Broadley's design showed her as she truly appeared in her later years, wearing the tiara known as the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland, a piece of jewelry that had long been associated with her image. Collectors often point out that this portrait marked a turning point, where the monarchy was not merely represented as an idealized institution but as a very real and enduring part of Britain's national identity. On the reverse of the 2010 penny, we find a design that has become one of the most striking features of modern British coinage. Beginning in 2008, the Royal Mint introduced a radical new idea for the designs of its coins. Instead of each coin carrying a completely independent design, the coins from the penny up to the 50p piece were redesigned so that when placed together, they would form a single image of the royal shield of arms. The 1 penny coin carries the lower left portion of that shield, featuring the decorated cross-hatching of the royal arms. This clever innovation was designed by Dent, a graphic designer who won a nationwide competition to redesign the country's coinage. His idea was praised as both modern and deeply traditional, combining centuries of heraldic symbolism with a fresh and bold approach that made the coins instantly recognizable. The penny itself is made from copper-plated steel, a change that was introduced in 1992 when rising copper prices made the traditional bronze composition too expensive for mass circulation. At just 20.3 mm in diameter and weighing 3.56 grams, the coin is small, light, and often overlooked. Yet for collectors, the 2010 edition stands out for several reasons, and it is these reasons that elevate it from an everyday coin to one of extraordinary importance. One of the most fascinating aspects of coin collecting is the concept of rarity. Sometimes coins are rare because they were struck in small numbers. Sometimes they are rare because of minting errors that slipped through the Royal Mint's famously rigorous standards. And sometimes rarity comes not from the numbers produced, but from the condition in which the coin has been preserved. The 2010 Elizabeth II penny embodies elements of all of these. While millions of pennies were produced for general circulation in that year, only a handful of coins struck in flawless, uncirculated condition, coins with perfect luster, sharp details, and not a single blemish, have survived in the hands of collectors. For those who seek perfection, these coins are like hidden gems waiting to be discovered. But beyond condition, the 2010 penny is also intriguing because of its connection to the ongoing evolution of British coinage. This was the third year of Dent's shield design being in full circulation, and yet it was also a year when the Royal Mint continued to refine its production methods. Collectors have noted subtle variations in strike, color, and detail that make certain examples more desirable than others. In some cases, coins with slight die errors or misalignments have become prized rarities. It is these small quirks that can turn an otherwise ordinary coin into something collectors around the world will compete fiercely to OWN.to truly understand the appeal of the 2010 penny, though. We need to step back and consider the larger context of Elizabeth II's reign. By 2010, the Queen had already surpassed multiple milestones, becoming one of the most respected and enduring monarchs in modern history. Every coin bearing her likeness was, in a sense, a daily reminder of her stability and service. And yet, at the same time, these coins were also reflections of a changing Britain, one that had embraced multiculturalism, technology, and globalization, while still holding tightly to traditions that stretched back centuries. The 2010 penny is a microcosm of this tension between old and new, between heritage and innovation. Collectors are drawn to coins like this not just for their metal or design, but for the stories they tell. Imagine holding a 2010 penny that has remained untouched for more than a decade, its shine still as bright as the day it left the mint. That coin is not just worth a single penny, it is worth the memories of a nation, the artistry of its designers, the precision of its minting process, and the reverence collectors feel for the monarch whose image it carries. And when a coin embodies all of these qualities, its value can transcend the ordinary and climb to heights that few would have believed possible. Over the years, examples of the Elizabeth II 2010 one penny in pristine condition have appeared at auctions, often accompanied by feverish bidding wars among collectors from around the world. Each sale pushes the value higher, as demand continues to outstrip supply. The coin's blend of modern design, royal symbolism, and numismatic rarity has made it one of the most sought-after issues of the 21st century. Stories have emerged of collectors who found such a coin tucked away in a jar of spare change, only to later discover its incredible value. For them, the penny was not just a coin, it was a life-changing discovery. This element of chance, the possibility that a treasure could be hiding in plain sight, adds to the magic of coin collecting. It's what keeps enthusiasts searching through pocket change, attending coin shows, and poring over auction catalogs in the hope of finding the next great rarity. And so, we come to the most astonishing part of the story, the value. While most 2010 pennies remain worth only their face value, the rarest examples, those in absolutely flawless condition or carrying unique variations, have reached heights that defy imagination. In recent auctions, one such coin has been valued at an astonishing $16 million. That's right, a coin worth just 1 penny in everyday commerce has become a multimillion-dollar treasure in the world of numismatics. This extraordinary value is not just about the metal or even the rarity. It's about what the coin represents: the continuity of monarchy, the artistry of modern British design, the passion of collectors, and the timeless allure of discovering treasure where least expected. For those who hold one of these rare examples, the 2010 Elizabeth II penny is not just money, it is history, art, and legend combined into a single small disc of copper-plated steel. So the next time you come across a humble penny, take a closer look. It might just be one of the most valuable coins in the world, a piece of Britain's heritage that has the power to captivate collectors and command fortunes. And for the 2010 Elizabeth II 1 penny, that fortune is an incredible $16 million. Top 2. The United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny of 1988. At first glance, it might appear to be just another copper coin, easily overlooked in the palm of your hand or slipped into a purse without much thought. Yet beneath its modest appearance lies a fascinating tale that weaves together history, art, economics, and numismatic mystery. For collectors, historians, and enthusiasts alike, the 1988 1 penny is more than just a coin. It is a small but powerful symbol of Britain's identity in the late 20th century, a quiet relic of an era where tradition met modernization. To understand the story of the 1988 1 penny, one must first step back into the broader history of British coinage and the role of the decimal system. The United Kingdom had made a dramatic shift in 1971, abandoning the centuries-old system of pounds, shillings, and pence in favor of a decimal currency system that aligned better with modern economies and international trade. The penny, once a medieval silver coin that carried tremendous value, was reduced to a modest copper-plated denomination, a piece of pocket change. But though its intrinsic worth had shrunk, its symbolic value remained enormous. Every penny carried the image of the reigning monarch, Queen Elizabeth II, and with her portrait came a sense of continuity, authority, and national identity. The 1988 one penny emerged in the heart of the Thatcher era, a period when Britain was redefining itself both domestically and internationally. Margaret Thatcher was in her third term as Prime Minister, economic reforms were reshaping society, and Britain was preparing to enter the globalized world of the 1990s. The coins of this period, though humble in circulation, reflected the steady hand of tradition in the midst of change. The one penny carried the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II designed by Raphael Makhlouf, a celebrated sculptor whose depiction of the Queen appeared on coins from 1985 until 1997. Makhlouf's effigy was notable for its elegance and dignity, portraying the Queen wearing the George IV state diadem, a crown often associated with the monarch's regal presence at official state openings of Parliament. Unlike earlier portrayals, Makhlouf's design was more formal, highlighting her role not only as sovereign of the United Kingdom but also as a symbol of stability in a rapidly changing world. Turning the coin over reveals another layer of tradition. The reverse design, by Christopher Ironside, features the crown portcullis with chains, an emblem long associated with British governance and authority. The portcullis, a medieval gate often seen in heraldry, became closely tied to the Palace of Westminster, the very heart of British democracy. By choosing this design, Ironside gave the penny a sense of gravity and continuity, connecting the everyday coin to the long history of parliamentary rule and the rule of law in Britain. To the casual observer, the portcullis might seem decorative, but to those familiar with British heritage, it symbolized centuries of political tradition. Minting details also add another layer of intrigue to the 1988 penny. Like most coins of the era, it was produced by the Royal Mint in massive numbers, struck in bronze, specifically an alloy of copper, tin, and zinc. The coins were intended for everyday circulation, meaning they would pass from hand to hand, through shops and schools, across pub counters and bus fares. And yet, not every coin is created equal. Slight variations, minting errors, and limited production runs can turn an otherwise ordinary piece of metal into an extraordinary rarity. Some 1988 pennies were struck with faint die errors, while others, due to their condition, survived in mint state, preserved from the wear and tear of circulation. These rare survivors today command attention from collectors who recognize their unusual scarcity and value. The appeal of the 1988 penny lies not only in its design or condition but also in the stories it has carried over time. Imagine a coin minted in the late 1980s, entering circulation in a London corner shop, being handed over for a loaf of bread or a newspaper, perhaps jingling in the pocket of a schoolchild buying sweets after class. That same coin might have traveled through countless hands, across generations, forgotten in jars of loose change, or tucked away in drawers. For many people, it was simply a penny. Yet for collectors, finding one in uncirculated condition, untouched by time, is like unearthing a small time capsule from the past. Numismatists, the scholars and collectors of coins, place great importance on context. The 1988 penny reflects not only the craftsmanship of the Royal Mint, but also the social and economic environment of its day. In 1988, Britain's economy was expanding, consumer culture was booming, and the country was asserting itself on the global stage. But it was also a time of division, with debates about inequality, Europe, and Britain's future place in the world. The penny, modest though it may be, silently bore witness to these changes. It circulated through all levels of society, from the wealthy business executive to the working class laborer, from the politician in Westminster to the schoolchild in a playground. It was the one coin that everyone touched, regardless of status or wealth. For collectors, the real magic of the 1988 penny lies in the hunt for perfection. Most of the coins minted that year entered circulation and quickly acquired scratches, dents, and discoloration. But a few remained untouched, sealed in sets or kept as souvenirs, their surfaces gleaming with original mint luster. These coins, graded by professional services, can reach astonishing values at auctions. To hold such a coin in your hand is to see it as it looked the moment it was struck: sharp details, brilliant shine, and flawless preservation. It transforms a humble penny into a treasure. Some particularly rare examples of the 1988 penny have surfaced with unusual characteristics that set them apart from the rest. A small handful were struck with off-center designs, double strikes, or slight alignment errors, minting quirks that collectors cherish because of their rarity. Others have been discovered in proof-like condition, intended not for circulation but for presentation sets. These coins, in pristine state, have become the holy grail for dedicated collectors, commanding extraordinary sums in the numismatic market. The demand for the 1988 penny is fueled by both its rarity and its story. Collectors love coins that combine historical context with aesthetic beauty, and this penny delivers on both counts. It represents a moment in British history when the monarchy projected stability, when politics were turbulent, and when the nation was on the cusp of dramatic change. It carries the artistry of Mackloff and Ironside, two designers whose contributions have shaped the look of British coinage for decades. And it offers the possibility, however slim, of uncovering a hidden rarity in an old collection, a jar of coins, or a forgotten box in the attic. In recent years, interest in British decimal coinage has surged, as collectors who grew up with these coins now seek them out with nostalgia and passion. What was once pocket change has become a cherished relic of childhood, a symbol of the late 20th century, and in some cases, a prized investment. The 1988 penny, often dismissed in its own time as insignificant, has emerged as one of the standout treasures of the era, particularly when found in exceptional condition. Auction houses and private sales have seen remarkable bids for rare specimens, surprising even seasoned numismatists. It is perhaps ironic that a coin worth so little in 1988 has come to represent such extraordinary value today. For in the world of collecting, rarity, condition, and demand matter far more than face value. A coin that once bought a sweet or a newspaper could now buy a mansion, a luxury car, or even a small estate. And this transformation from pocket change to priceless artifact is what gives coin collecting its magic. It is not simply about metal or design, it is about stories, history, and the passage of time. As the spotlight shines on the 1988 penny, its allure continues to grow. Collectors from across the globe, not just in the United Kingdom, seek it out, fascinated by its beauty and scarcity. Each coin tells its own story, yet together they form part of a larger narrative about Britain, its monarchy, and its people in the 1980s. Holding one is like holding a fragment of history, a piece of art, and a financial investment all at once. And in a market where values continue to rise, the 1988 penny has proven to be an unexpected star, which brings us to the most astonishing fact of all, the current estimated value of the rarest, most pristine examples of the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny 1988. While ordinary circulated coins might fetch only a modest sum, the rarest mint-state specimens and era coins have been appraised and valued at staggering levels. Top 3. The United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny from the year 2008 has captured the fascination of collectors across the globe. This tiny coin, often forgotten in purses and pockets, has become a symbol of British history, royal legacy, and rare numismatic beauty. Today, we embark on a journey into its world, uncovering every detail of its story, from its origin and design to the immense value it has come to hold. To understand the 2008 Elizabeth II 1 penny, we must step back into the broader history of British coinage and the transformation that came during Queen Elizabeth II's reign. The penny has long been one of the oldest units of British currency, dating back to Anglo-Saxon times when silver pennies dominated trade. Through centuries, it evolved in material, weight, and design, mirroring the changes of society itself. By the 20th century, pennies were a staple in every household, but the year 2008 marked a particularly special moment in their timeline. This was the year of a dramatic redesign of the UK's coinage, a project that gave each denomination a fresh appearance, uniting them under a modern artistic vision that was still deeply rooted in tradition. The 2008 penny, therefore, is not just another copper-plated steel coin. It represents a turning point in British numismatics. Before 2008, the familiar penny bore the crown portcullis design, symbolizing the Palace of Westminster. But in 2008, the Royal Mint unveiled something extraordinary. The reverse of the 1 penny became a fragment of a much larger design, a portion of the royal shield of arms. This shield was divided across all circulating coins from 1 penny up to 50 pence, and when placed together, the coins formed the full shield. On the penny itself, one can see the lower left section of the shield, a brilliant concept that gave new life to everyday coinage. It was the first time in modern history that a series of coins had been designed to interconnect visually in such a creative way. The man behind this revolutionary design was Matthew Dent, a young graphic designer who won a nationwide competition to redesign the reverse of the UK's coins. His idea of using the royal shield resonated with the judges for its boldness, simplicity, and deep connection to the heritage of the monarchy. On the 1 penny coin, his work is subtle yet powerful, a section of the shield featuring the chains of the medieval heraldic design. This was more than art, it was symbolism, reminding people that every small coin is part of a larger whole, just as every citizen is part of the greater nation. On the obverse side, of course, rests the iconic portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. In 2008, the coins featured the portrait created by Rank-Broadley, which had been in use since 1998. This portrait is renowned for its realism and maturity, portraying the Queen with dignity, authority, and grace. Unlike earlier idealized depictions, Rank-Broadley's design showed her as she truly was in her later years, capturing both the strength of her reign and the passage of time. Encircling her likeness are the words, Elizabeth II DG Reg FD, followed by the date, Latin abbreviation signifying, Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. Every detail connects back to the centuries-old traditions of the crown. The technical details of the coin may seem ordinary at first glance. It has a diameter of 20.3 millimeters, a thickness of 1.65 millimeters, and weighs 3.56 grams. Made from copper-plated steel, the penny of 2008 reflects the practical shift away from bronze in the early 1990s, as rising metal costs forced the Royal Mint to adapt. Yet in these ordinary specifications lies extraordinary history. Because within the 2008 issue, there are rare varieties, minting quirks, and special editions that have elevated the coin from pocket change to numismatic legend. Collectors know that the year 2008 stands out for 2 reasons. First, it was the inaugural year of the new shield design. Coins from the very first year of a design are always highly collectible, especially when they mark such a significant departure from tradition. Second, there were a number of misstrikes and variations reported in 2008 pennies, making some of them extremely rare. These minting anomalies include coins struck slightly off-center, coins with incomplete designs, and most famously, a handful of 2008 pennies mistakenly struck with the old reverse, the portcullis design, when they should have carried the new shield. These rare errors are among the most coveted finds for collectors, fetching astonishing prices at auctions. Imagine, then, the thrill of a collector who discovers such a coin in an ordinary handful of change. What was once worth a single penny could suddenly be valued in thousands, tens of thousands, or even more, depending on its rarity and condition. The excitement of such discoveries has fueled countless stories across Britain, with people scouring their jars of loose change in search of these elusive treasures. It is the stuff of legends, finding a coin worth a fortune hidden in plain sight. But beyond errors and varieties, the 2008 penny also appeals to collectors because of its role in the grand narrative of Elizabeth II's reign. Few monarchs in history have been represented on so many coins for so long. From her coronation in 1953 to her Platinum Jubilee in 2022, Elizabeth II became the face of British currency, her image evolving through 5 official portraits. The 2008 penny belongs to this legacy, capturing her reign at a mature stage, symbolizing stability in a rapidly changing world. For collectors, owning this coin is not just about its rarity, it is about holding a tangible piece of royal history. The appeal of the 2008 penny has grown steadily over the years, with demand soaring among both casual collectors and serious numismatists. Auction houses have reported remarkable sales, especially for the rare era versions. Stories abound of individuals who, upon realizing the uniqueness of their coin, were able to turn a forgotten penny into a life-changing sum. This transformation from ordinary to extraordinary has only increased the mystique of the 2008 penny, drawing global attention to it.in the world of coin collecting. Value is determined by a delicate balance of rarity, condition, historical significance, and demand. The 2008 Elizabeth II 1 penny checks all these boxes. Its role as the first of the shield design, its connection to Matthew Dent's groundbreaking artistry, its place in Elizabeth II's unparalleled reign, and its potential for rare errors have made it one of the most desirable modern British coins. While not every 2008 penny is rare, those special examples that combine pristine condition with unusual variations have skyrocketed in value. Consider the journey of one such coin. Found in near-perfect condition, with a rare misstrike, it traveled from a casual collector's jar of coins to the spotlight of a prestigious auction house. Bidding was fierce, with numismatists from across Europe, America, and Asia eager to add it to their collections. When the final hammer fell, the humble penny had achieved a staggering sale price, cementing its place among the legends of modern numismatics. And this brings us to the most astonishing part of the story: the sheer value the 2008 Elizabeth II 1 penny can command. While most pennies are destined to remain at the bottom of pockets, those rare examples have reached unimaginable heights. Today, some of the finest and rarest specimens have been valued at a breathtaking $17 million. That is right. What once began as a simple 1 penny coin, issued for everyday use, has risen to a level of worth that rivals some of the most famous coins in the world. The 2008 penny is more than just money. It is art, history, legacy, and rarity combined into a single object that tells a story larger than itself. For the people who hold it, it is not just a coin, it is a connection to a nation's heritage and a testament to the enduring power of small things to carry great meaning. And for those who dream of uncovering one, it represents the possibility that hidden treasures lie all around us, waiting to be discovered. So the next time you come across an old penny, pause for a moment. Look closely. Feel its weight, study its design, and imagine the journey it has taken. Perhaps, just perhaps, you might be holding not just a coin, but a fortune. Because in the world of numismatics, even the humblest penny can become a legend worth $17 million.